In Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals, it was Jimmy Butler who took over the game and willed his team to a 1-0 series lead. The seemingly invulnerable Boston Celtics defense had no answer for his relentless switch hunting, shot making, and foul drawing tactics, while he simultaneously played outstanding on the defensive end. In these playoffs, he's been playing by far the best basketball of his career, and that trend continued Tuesday night with his two-way dominance. So let's take a look at how he did it. Miami's offense really struggled to get going in the beginning of this game, scoring their first points almost 3 minutes in and having just 4 on the board 2 minutes later. Until this point, Jimmy Butler had been real quiet, playing almost entirely off the ball and attempting just one shot. On the first possession, he truly initiates, the Heat stack on the weak side to open up space for a high ball screen. Boston switches the action, giving Butler a speed advantage over the bigger Robert Williams. He quickly drives hard to his right and uses his shoulder to move a backpedaling Williams off his spot for a wide open dunk. This time it's an off-ball action that puts him in a good scoring position. He comes off a pin down moving towards the free throw line, and because he's not much of a threat as a movement shooter like this, you'll notice Jaylen Brown goes under the screen. This is problematic though, because now Butler has room to explode with his first dribble and lead with that shoulder to again create separation for the easy floater. His ability to play both on and off the ball like this make him extremely difficult to defend individually. On this play, he first looks for a potential switch with a couple ball screens, but Boston does a good job defending and Tatum remains as the matchup. So instead, Butler decides to make himself the screener, pulling Oladipo into a handoff that forces the switch and creates a short roll drive that earns him a trip to the line. His tier 1 foul drawing played a huge part in his offensive explosion this game, here using a screen to get Brown on his backside before stopping on a dime and rising up for 2 more free throws. He again goes to the same look on this one, but Tatum does a better job of controlling his momentum on the recovery, leaving an easy pull-up jumper from the elbow. He's back to being a screener on the first play of the second half, getting the switch and sealing short roll position on the smaller Derek White. He controls the catch deep into the paint and leads with his body on a layup attempt to again get to the line. Along with his foul drawing ability, another huge staple of Butler's game is just knowing when and where to position himself. Notice how he recognizes that Gabe Vincent is stepping into a three-pointer, so he runs out of bounds to sneak around the unsuspecting Jaylen Brown and box him out for a putback. This next one is just a phenomenal inbounds play that again utilizes Jimmy as a screener. He first sets a pick to free up Tucker for an easy entry, then catches Pritchard off guard with another that leaves Strus with a three-pointer on the move. Because Boston plays such a switch-heavy scheme on the defensive end, when Butler is screening for smaller ball handlers, it allows him to actively seek out the matchup he wants. And in this game, it was Pritchard who he continued to relentlessly attack. Miami starts this possession with a ball screen for Jimmy on both sides. Notice how he first uses the Strus pick to get that mismatch, then uses Bams to get downhill for a sidestep jumper. With how well Butler has played as the number 1 option offensively throughout the entirety of these playoffs, it's easy to forget that he remains one of the very best defensive players on the planet, especially off the ball. His anticipation in passing lanes has earned him a league-leading 25 steals so far in these playoffs and plays a massive role in creating easy transition scoring opportunities for the Heat offense. He knows for a fact that this pass is going to Robert Williams at the top of the key, but instead of selling out and making it obvious, he slowly creeps into a spot where he can pounce on the ball and take it all the way back to the hoop. Looking back at this play, you can see the exact moment he recognizes where this ball is going, as he cuts off his back pedal to roam into that lane, showing off anticipation and IQ only seen by some of the best defensive wings in league history. Back on offense, he again screens for the switch onto Derek White for an isolation. He's able to beat him off the dribble with a quick rip through and drive to his left, forcing the help and drawing 2 more free ones. Here they go back to that exact same inbounds play from earlier, except this time Gabe Vincent snakes the screen back in the opposite direction for a triple off the bounce. Butler continues to showcase his defensive prowess on this one as Brown pushes the ball with a full head of steam right at him. Even in a backpedal, he doesn't give up an inch of room for the finish and gives Dedmon an opportunity to wipe the glass. Miami then runs the floor in transition, where Jimmy's able to earn himself yet another trip to the line. And how about one more time as he collects this chase down block, then uses an up fake to get the defender in the air in classic Jimmy Butler fashion. That closes out a third quarter that the Heat won with an astonishing score of 39-14, grabbing a 17-point lead with 12 minutes of basketball left to play. On the very first possession after Jimmy checked back into the game, Miami couldn't really create a good opportunity and ran the shot clock down to the last second. Butler gets the ball in the corner with less than 2 seconds left and is forced to throw up an extremely contested fall-away jumper, which of course he knocks down. That started a shootout between both teams, trading threes back and forth as the Heat looked to extend their lead, while Boston desperately tried to cut the deficit. Once that was over, Jimmy went right back to relentlessly hunting out Peyton Pritchard, here isolating in space and spinning into a hanging jump shot right over the top of that size advantage. Just look at how high he got off the ground before actually releasing. I'm not sure if even Manute Bol would be able to effectively contest this shot. It's a different story on the other side of the ball though, where he's matched up with Jaylen Brown on the perimeter, gets right in his airspace to get over the screen and force him into the corner help, before peeling off at the perfect time to block Tatum's 3-point shot. It's almost like we're in a time loop at this point. Jimmy first screens to get the switch onto Derek White, posts up at the top of the key for an easy entry pass and isolation in space, drives hard to his left, and draws a foul. The Celtics finally figure out that you can't switch these smaller guys onto Jimmy Butler and expect to get a stop. So when Tatum fights through the screen, he instead turns the corner on a dribble drive, gets both feet into the paint to force a collapse, and hits the lifting Max Strus for a triple. Next time down the floor, he decides to just take the matchup with Tatum one-on-one, again going to that spinning jumper, which leaves him unbothered by a great contest. And when I say great, I mean half a centimeter away from getting a hand on it, high five type of great. Now with Boston on their last legs, needing a basket to keep the game alive, he just snatches this layup attempt from behind. One last score in transition earns Butler his 41st points of the night, giving him his 5th 40-point playoff game as a member of the Heat, and finishing off Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and turn my post notifications on to be first on more content. If you're interested in my more in-depth research, make sure to check out my website, podcast, and social media profiles. You can find those links in the description. Feel free to let me know down in the comments what you think of Jimmy Butler and whether the Heat will make it out of this series. As always, I hope you all have a great day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.